Well, hello, Viking fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Viking Talk with Coach Josh Morgan. I'm your host, Brandon Davis, and as always, great to have with us Warren Central head football coach Josh Morgan. Coach, great to see you again.
You too, Brandon.
Well, Coach, last week we opened up division play. We go on the road, taking on a very good Germantown team, came away with an impressive 35-14 win over the Mavericks. Coach, talk about what this win means to you and for the program.
It was a big win. It was a big win for not only for our team, but for the district, the way it's setting up, and just very, very proud of our guys. You win that first one against a playoff team, and Germantown will be in that hunt and that conversation. It gives us a leg up on them. It also puts us in currently first place along with 3 other teams, and a big win. It just makes it sets up bigger games down the road, and really makes sure that we're playing meaningful football in the months to come.
Well, we talked about it. Their offense is a blast from the past, Coach. They run the wing tee. They're very effective at doing it. Early on, it presented some challenges for you in the defense, but I thought you did an outstanding job of limiting them. And when you look at the stats, it was one of their lowest run production nights of the season so far. So when you look back on it, did you and the staff have to make some adjustments during the game, or did our guys just improve the execution of the game plan?
Well, they had they started the game off and had a long drive, and we Marvin Freeman had an interception that stopped that drive, and then they put a 16-play drive together the next series, and we were tackling well. We were fitting really well. I thought our secondary tackled well, and they were just getting 3 and 4 and 5 yards, and so we weathered that storm, made some adjustments, a couple tweaks here and there, and our guys kept battling, and really kind of found ways to win, found ways to figure it out, and ended up doing a really good job, especially the second half of getting off the field. You can't let them lay on us, and can't let them keep you on the field that long. So made a couple of adjustments. Kids did a really good job of continuing to fight, and something's got to give, and ultimately it was not our defense. We did a really good job to close things out.
So when you look back, Coach, how important is it to have an extra week to prepare for an offense like this?
Well, it helped us for sure, but it doesn't help if your kids don't approach it the right way. Our kids bought into it's not a bye week, it's not an off week. We're going to get better this week, and while we're getting better, we're going to go ahead and get a head start on Germantown, and that's what we did. And very proud of our coaching staff, very proud of our kids, and I thought we were the more prepared team, and thought we played harder.
Well, Coach, the first half was a very tight contest. We sneak out to halftime with a 14-7 lead. Second half, we were a completely different team. You outscored them 21-7 to pull away. You talked a little bit about it earlier, but talk about the team's effort in the second half.
Yeah, we it's good to see us. We really exploded in the third quarter. I mean, it was just an onslaught of our guys making plays. I thought this was the best game our offensive line played. And when your offensive line gets going, it sets up and it allows your athletes to be athletes. I thought our backs ran harder than they have all year, trying to score on every play, and really challenged them. Challenged all of our skill guys to make plays, to be playmakers, not let one guy bring you down. And they did a really good job of fighting for extra yards and looking to make an explosive play and not just breaking the first initial line and going down. They were looking to make plays, and I thought Kendrick Thompson and Antonio Thomas for sure really did a good job of making those plays. But again, it starts with our O-line and allowing us to get that going, and our defense did a really good job of getting off the field and giving them the ball right back. And I think kind of the hidden part of the whole game was our special teams. We had over 120 yards in punt returns, and did a really good job on our we're able to down the ball inside the 10 twice, really winning that field position battle, so we had short fields. So just a complete team effort, and really, really good to see us come out and really set the tone in the second half.
Offensively, Coach, 252 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns against the Germantown defense. They had a pretty big front, like they did pretty well most of the night. The offensive line, you talked about that, the staple of young backs we have, really seem to be finding a groove right now, but how much better can they be?
Well, we're hopefully we're just getting started. We've made some good progress everywhere. I feel like our offensive line's had a really good week this week. They're starting to figure things out, and things are starting to slow down. They're starting to play well as a unit, which is so important. But we can be better. We have to be better for us to be able to make a push and to legitimately contend. We have to be better than where we are right now, and they understand that, and they sure are working well.
Well, Coach, you talked about special teams. Place kicker Josh Griffith, he struggled against Brandon, but he bounced back nicely last week against Germantown. Discussed his performance and also the importance of having a kicker that can put the ball in the end zone for touchbacks.
Yeah, it's always good to see a young man bounce back. It's always good to see fight through adversity and stand up and work on something and get better at it and bounce back and respond to something like that. It's really good to see, but there's got to be, at that position in particular, the level of consistency. And it's never a one-man show. It goes to, when you place kicking, it goes to your snapper and your holder and your blocking, so again, that was a lesson learned, and hopefully we've gotten better from that. But it's really good to see Josh respond the way he did, and as far as kicking in the end zone, again, it goes back to field position. When you get you make your opponent drive the ball 80 yards instead of giving up a big kickoff return, it sure does help, the big picture.
Well, Josh also serves as our punter in the situation, and you think back to successful teams you've had in the past, you've always had an effective punter. Think back to Walt Hobson, the job he did for us a few years ago. So
yeah.
It's good that he's getting it to this point. So this is Viking Talk. We're visiting with Coach Josh Morgan. Coach, this week it's round 2 of region play. Greenville Hornets, they come a-calling this Friday night here at Viking Stadium. So what should the fans expect to see from Coach McCray and this Hornet squad?
Well, they're a very talented group. They're very explosive on both sides of the ball. They're looking for big plays. On the offensive side of the ball, you'll see primarily 4 receivers, sometimes 5, and you have a dual threat quarterback who is just as good as a runner as a thrower. Really got a big arm and a whole lot of speed around him. And so athletes everywhere can run. They'll be faster and more athletic than us, and we've got to do a really good job of keeping them in front of us and really limiting big plays and playing really good fundamental sound defense. And on offense, they're going to be in a 3-3 stack variation, and that allows more speed on the field as well. I mean, you're basically playing with 8 linebackers and DBs. And so again, their strength is their athleticism and their speed, and they'll be a challenge to defend, and offensively it'll be a challenge to see how they're trying to attack us out of this the defense that they run.
Well, Coach, last week, you've dominated this series against Greenville. You've won over the past 8 years. The past 4 offensively, you're averaging 52 points a game. Last week you had an emotional win over Germantown. You've got a date looming with Madison Central coming up. How have you and the staff approached this game with the team this week to ensure that you're not falling into a trap game? Yeah,
it's got every recipe for a trap game, right? I mean, it's just sitting in the middle of 2 big games. Our jobs as coaches is to make sure that our players are ready to go each and every week. Our jobs of our senior leaders has got to be to understand that this game carries just as much weight as any other game. So that level of maturity has got to be there from our team. Also, there's a ton of respect on our end for them. Like I said, very talented, more athletic, and very dangerous. And so we first of all, we're not good enough to overlook anybody. And and that was the message very clear Monday. Making sure that our kids know that this is a chance to go to 2-0. All of our focus is right here on this very moment, and making sure that our guys understand the importance of this game. And technically they are in first place with us, tied, and there's just it's a homecoming game and a home game, and so it's again our full attention, and it will be. Our guys understand the importance of this game.
Well, last week, Greenville, they defeated Murrah 14-9. Like you said, Coach, they are 1-1 the way we are in region play. Murrah was a team last year that gave us some trouble there in the first part. So this is a talented team. They're led by quarterback Ty Mitchell McCullough. Coach, this is a young man that we are familiar with. We faced him for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
What challenges does he present to our defense?
Well, you have to think of it like this. You put 5 receivers and they spread you out all over the field, from the bottom of the numbers to the bottom of the numbers on the other side. And they make you defend the entire field and also vertically. And while doing so, if there's any gap that he sees or any pressure that he sees to allow him to step up and escape, he's going to do that. So it's tremendous pressure on the defense. It's if you don't play your proper pass coverage, he can get you in the air. If you bail out and not rush as a complete unit, and one person gets out of their lane, he can really make you pay for it. So, true dual threat guy, and really good athlete, and again played him last year, and so it's a controlled rush. And also got to be really good on the back end. So it's a fine line of how we attack this offense.
Big offensive line. They're going to spread you out, kind of what Pearl would do, spread you out. They're going to lean on you. Any extra emphasis this week on the defensive line getting off blocks?
Yeah, we have to get off blocks. Again, they'll be bigger than us. So we'll have to get off blocks. We have to do our jobs. Be ready for when the quarterback is trying to get out of the pocket, but we also have to apply pressure on the quarterback to get him uncomfortable. So, defensively, these guys are not fun to defend.
Oh, by the way, Eric Simmons, wide receiver, he's one of their playmakers. He's one of the top, really unknown receivers in the state, but you're going to be going up against him as well.
We've been playing him for 4 years now.
Yes.
He was a big playmaker even as a freshman, and so again, very, very talented. They have 2 others that can really go get it as well. I feel like their receivers, their top 3 receivers, they could start for anybody in our district, and that's how dangerous they are. And anytime you got a quarterback that can throw it with accuracy the way this guy does, and also is a threat, so it'll be fun to see how our kids respond. It'll be a big atmosphere for them, and also a really big challenge.
Well, Coach, it is homecoming week. That brings a lot of additional excitement to the student body and the community, but it also can lead to distractions. You know that. Mm-hmm. You want the guys to have fun and enjoy the moments and all, but you also would expect an attention to detail for the upcoming opponent. So as a head coach, how do you and the staff navigate through a week like this and be able to maintain a level of balance?
Yeah, so you got an opponent that we've had a lot of success against, and it's homecoming and all that goes with it. It's you talk about and what we talked about Monday in our team meeting was the level of preparation and time and everything that goes into investing in what we're doing here in our program. You have to put everything in perspective, and by saying that is, yes, I want them to enjoy homecoming, and I want them to enjoy the festivities of it, but we have a job to do, and sometimes they listen and they get it, and we just keep trying to hammer that home, and we have to take care of business, and the rest will handle itself. And so got a lot invested in this, and it'd be a shame not to give it its rightful amount of respect and focus, and so again, we've talked about it and done everything we can to address the situation, and I feel like our point has been made, and I know our coaching staff understands it, and they've done a good job of driving that home and making sure that our boys understand that.
Greenville's defense gives up a little over 20 points a game. Coach, you've got a great opportunity to put some points up on them again this year, but over the past 2 games, we've been missing 2 of our very important offensive pieces in Jerry Stovall and Quentin Pollard due to injury. Yeah. Any chance these 2 are going to see playing time this week?
They will not. They will not be active this week as well, and I'm hoping to get them back soon. Sooner the better, obviously. We still got some guys banged up from Germantown. That was a very physical ball game. Mm-hmm. We've got some guys that are banged up from that. But I'm going to tell you how proud I am of our guys, the way they compete. Everything that could go wrong kind of has gone wrong in some shape, form, or fashion. and they just keep plugging and they just keep working, and there's no excuses being made, and guys that are being called on to do more have picked up that role, and it's been a fun year to watch these guys compete, handle adversity, and really really find ways to get it done and stay together as a group. And I'm very proud of our team as a whole of how they've handled tough times and adverse conditions.
Well, Coach, everybody knows that your mentality is we're not going to cry and make excuses and have folks feel sorry for us. So it's next man up here at Warren Central.
Yeah.
You got to be proud of how the kids have bought into that mentality.
Yes, I mean it goes it goes back really even into spring. I mean when things happen to you, you got two options, and we preach it around here, and it's great for football, but it's even better for life.
Absolutely.
You get into tough times, and how do you handle it? And can you toe the mark? And can you be a leader? And can you stand in the front and change things and for the better? And if something bad does happen to you, you turn it into a positive, and you find ways to build upon it. And that's challenging as a coach. But when they hear it all the time, and they see you live it, and they've seen the culture that's been in front of them. But I can't say enough about our guys. I mean, you have to understand, Stovall goes down, Quentin Pollard goes down, who is really what we use offensively as the fullback, the tight end, the stand-up slot, and all that goes down. You plug in a sophomore, and you plug in some stuff by committee, and you're breaking in, 3 sophomores on the offensive line when we have not started a sophomore on the offensive line. I think in 7 or 8 years, one, and we're starting 3.
Right.
So, no excuses. The kids the biggest thing is when something does happen, they have stayed together, and they have had each other's backs, and they've been fun to watch and fun to coach, and I'm proud to be their coach.
Well, some reward for you, Coach. Yesterday it was announced that senior offensive lineman Chris Winston been selected to the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star Classic that will be played this December. Talk about that honor for Chris, but more importantly, what it means to you and the program.
Yeah, well, first of all, Chris is he is an exceptional young man. He's a great student. He is a great character. If there's something that people need done, Chris is the first one to volunteer. He's put up church tents. He's gone to talk to kids and work camps. So he is an outstanding young man, first of all. And he started at tackle for us last year, and we moved him to center after the first game this year when the center got hurt. And he's just a great leader, a very good football player, but even better young man. And it's always good to have somebody representing our school in that game, and we're proud to have him representing us.
Well, some of the best play in that game. This is your second year in a row you have an offensive lineman. And offensive linemen, you know this, Coach, they're so hard to scout and to really rank and grade. So to have 2 to stand out like that really says something about what we've got going here.
Yes, when a coach, and that whole process is, you nominate your guys, and coaches pick on them and pick and what they're looking for. And usually the common denominator there is they know what kind of program that we run, but they also know what kind of competition that we play, week in, week out. That they know that they're going against some war daddies up front, and they know what they're getting. So it's a really good thing to see our guys be rewarded for that, and we're proud to have another guy in there, and it'll be a great opportunity for him. I'm very proud for him.
Well, final question we always ask, what are the keys to helping us beat this Greenville squad this week, Coach?
I think we need to be us, Brandon. I think we need to do a great job of being us, and what I mean by that is we want to really keep that momentum going with our running game. It was great to see us run the football, and when we do that, you saw how it opens up other things that we're trying to do. I think we need to take care of the football. I really feel like our special teams should be an advantage for us. We've got to take advantage of that and really help ourselves in that area of the game, in the kicking game. And on defenses, as we talked about, they really got the job of trying to slow these guys down and minimize blows, create turnovers, and got to do an outstanding job for 4 quarters of eliminating big plays. So I know that's your typical coach talk, but that's about as good as I can put it.
Well, that's what counts, Coach. Well, we appreciate you. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you guys for joining us last week at Germantown. This new facility, new event for us, so glad you came aboard. We'll be seeing them for at least 3 years.
Yeah, had a good crowd, too.
Great crowd. Yeah, it was a good atmosphere. Coach, it's been 3 weeks since we played at home, so it seemed like it's been forever. So
it does.
Good to be back home this Friday night for Homecoming 2019.
Yep.
Invite all you alumni and former Vikings to come back home here and celebrate the evening with us. It'll be a good time, I assure you that. Next week, going to be back on the road taking on a very important game in Madison Central. The game will be 7 o'clock from Madison. Hope you'll join us for that. That's going to do it for this week. We'll talk later. For Josh Morgan, I'm Brandon Davis. We'll see you next week, but until then, rise up, Vikings.